Hey everybody, Tony here with Ai2 Products, and today we are going to do the question and answer thing we started. Angie put a post, because now we get Angie in the video this time and not behind the camera. She looks much better in front of the camera, really.
Not always.
Not always, but today she's looking just fine. So, but
yeah.
yes, she did made a post on Facebook about asking us some general questions, I guess.
Yeah, because we get questions all the time about the products, about Tony, about the business, about all kinds of stuff, and it's like it's just easiest just to kind of sit down and try to address some of those questions. Not just the ones that were posted on the site, which is awesome. Thank you for the ones who posted, but also just people
Just
you
general,
talk to.
yeah. Questions I answer a lot on emails. So yeah, I mean, there's certain things that are kind of repetitive that people are asking about, so we're just trying to address some of that at least, so people can, if they do watch it, they kind of have an answer as to why.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and kind of go through. I've got a little bit of a list of some of the questions that we've had. Some of them I've had the same question from a lot of different people, so I don't have any names with those, but some of them I do have names, and like Bob Light. Hi,
Start with Bob.
We'll start with Bob.
So I'm looking for a 48-inch snow pusher for the front to attach to the bucket on a 2370. Says, do you make one? How much are they? Do you plan to make one? And how much would you expect it to cost? So basically, he's looking for a snow pusher for the front of his tractor, 48 inches wide. Now, I have one in development. I kind of have one already designed up, and I did post pictures of a 60-inch. I didn't do a 48-inch because 60 seems to cover, because the tractor's about 48 inches wide. So 48-inch will just cover the track width of the tractor. And luckily you're not angling, so technically you don't really need it a ton wider, but the tractor will handle more, so that's why we go 60-inch. And that's kind of the, excuse me, I guess that's kind of the industry standard when it comes to box blades, is 60-inch wide. And it's basically a version of the snow plow, so it's the same height and the same plow more or less, just without the A-frame and all the other things that go along with the plow, and we got side plates on it. But that'll probably be ready for next winter. I was going to try to get it done for this winter, but I've just been so busy that it was just one more thing to try to get done in the mess that I can't seem to get done as it is. So
I've mentioned this before. He's a one-man show. So he's here.
One and a half, but doesn't do anything.
He does the majority of it. I will fully admit. I help with this kind of stuff, and that's about it. Yeah.
So no, but cost-wise, I guess I don't know yet. I'm not sure what the cost is going to be, but stay tuned. It should be on, and we'll try to figure it out here this probably spring, summertime, get it dialed in, because it's 99% there. I just got a couple little fine-tuning things that need to be done to it. So.
Cool. Thanks, Bob, for the question. And my phone's going off.
Why is that sitting there anyway?
Justin Smith, he wants to know, Tony, how well does the rock bucket work?
Really? Well, of course, it works awesome. I guess I'm not the best person to ask that, because I produce it and I build it. I mean, it's designed, it's a scaled down skid loader version one. Same 3-inch spacing that skid loaders run. It's just been scaled down in size to work on a BX. So the biggest factor in rock buckets for them to work is your soil condition. If you're trying to use it in like clay kind of soil, it ain't gonna work. It's just, you need looser, dry soil for a rock bucket to really perform and do what you want it to do. So that is your biggest factor. If you're in an area where it's a lot of kind of clayey, wet, black dirt, it's not gonna do what you want it to, at least not as well. But if you're in an area where it's really sandy, or it's just you've got really dry conditions, the last couple, like around here last summer, it's just been very wet. So rock buckets in general probably weren't working the best if you were trying to dig and sift dirt. If you were in a pile of dirt or something where it was already kind of loose and you need to sift through it, then they work better in that scenario. So that's the biggest factor. So one day you'll use it and it'll work great. Rain overnight, you try to use it the next day, it's not going to work as good. So.
But in regards to the quality of the product, you can be completely confident that that's your number one.
Yeah, I'm not worried about durability of it by any means, no, because never had any issues with the rock bucket being, a BX should not be able to put enough hurt on a rock bucket to tear it apart.
Carl Frazier?
Yeah.
So you mean he has the same last name as one of our very favorite shows?
Oh, yeah.
Frazier.
Frazier, well, that's first name though.
I know,
Not-
I know. But still, whenever I hear Frazier.
Crane, yes. But no, Kyle, what's the question? Come on, Ange.
I know. Any updates on the tree spade that I have seen
Oh.
previewed in the, like a few months ago, you
I
previewed
posted
that.
that. I just posted some stuff on BXer page or something, I guess.
So what's that about?
That is probably a springtime thing. It just comes down to me getting the time to. That one's probably, I'd say, 85-90% done. Did build a prototype. I have a customer that has actually been using it, and it's been working really good. But there's just some fine tuning that has to be done to that to make it more producible. Manufacturable would be the word for it.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to make some corrections and just finish it up. And the big thing was the cutting edge on the front. We were testing a couple of different styles. We want like a tooth bar style cutting edge, because we're probably going to make something that bolts on. So we'll make like just a straight cutting edge for certain applications, and maybe like a tooth bar. And the cutting edge is probably 6 inches, I think, or 8 inches long. It's not very big because it comes to a point. I think it's actually a fairly small attachment. I think it's maybe 2.5, 3 feet long in general, or overall. So I think it's almost wider than it is long, because you had to make it so the BX could actually handle it. If you make it too long and too deep, just too much leverage, and it won't really do anything. But that's coming. That's all I can really say. And cost, I have no idea yet on that
So
one.
springtime-ish.
That's I say it. I got to take the time to actually sit down and fine tune it and finish it. So.
Right. He did say that he absolutely loves his pallet forks and his quick attach that he bought from you a few months ago.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks, Carl.
Why don't you read this question here from Francis?
Francis.
Yes, Francis S.
Francis says, thanks for the tie-downs from my BX23S. Do you or are you possibly thinking of making something for front weights to be added to the BX that works with the guard, or a new guard minus the weights that would clear the loader when installed? Yes, that's a good question, and that is also a yes. I've wanted to basically come up with a whole new brush guard that hinges down, so you can actually remove your side panel around the front of your tractor, and then without having to remove the bumper or the brush guard. But I also want to make it bumper alike, so you could actually mount some lights in there and have like a weight rack, because the BX does tend to get, if you don't have the loader on and say you're just mowing with it and you're using the 3-point to just say move a trailer around, I've had it where I go to move the trailer and it just picks the front end of the tractor right off the ground, so they are very light in the nose. Excuse me. So yeah, that is something that I want to do. The trouble is, if you put a weight bar on the front, it is something that you really can't have when the loader's on, which you really don't need weight when the loader's on. But if you take the loader off, you could have a bracket, because when you drop the loader all the way down, that big torque tube that the cylinder hooks to, there's only about probably that much clearance between the brush guard, the existing one, and that tube when it's all the way down. So you don't have a ton of room there to work with. So, and that kind of, it depends. I'd have to really lay it out. I may be getting ahead of myself on that, because yeah, the top of the brush guard, there's not a lot of clearance, but the bottom of where it comes out of the frame, there probably is a little more clearance there. So, but that is another product that's something I've been talking about for probably 3-4 years, if not longer.
He has a lot of amazing ideas. You guys have no idea.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that he really would like to come up with, but it's just a matter of
I get too busy building the stuff I already make to try to come up with more stuff. And it gets to a point where you're like, okay, I can only handle so much without having to hire somebody, which I kind of really don't want to do, but I'm looking at maybe working with other shops that can just produce the stuff for me when I need it, so I can send some of that overflow work over to them and not have to be just having to do everything. Because right now, everything goes out, I weld.
Mm-hmm. Everything.
Everything.
He welds.
So it gets to be a lot of stuff. And right now, there is a pile of stuff out there that has to get done.
Just as far as some of the things that we do have some other shops do, though, you have DLC.
DLC does all the part cutting, so yeah, when I figure out all the, I model it all up and then create all the DXF files, so then it gets, once I get the files all dialed into where I know this is how every slot's in the right place, every hole is the right size, everything's correct, then they start cutting the parts. I don't cut them on the water jet for that because it's too time consuming for the water jet to do it. So I have DLC fabrication down in New Ulm. They're about 30 miles south of us here. They do all the cutting, do a phenomenal job, and we'll be doing a video there.
Yes.
In their new shop. They got a brand new shop that they're going to be moving into hopefully in the next month or so.
Brent he's a stud in
Laser
in
God,
his,
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. Angie maybe thinks he's a stud, but he's a short, bald guy. And he'll hear that, hopefully.
Anyway.
He's shorter than me. Not nearly as attractive as I am.
He's a goofball.
He's a goofball, yeah.
No, I mean, and you're a goofball. They're a goofball together.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have gotten some like personal questions, people wanting to know just about us kids, blah blah blah. I do have, what does it say here? It says from Mark J. Okay, some of us want to know about you guys. Come on now, how'd you meet? Have you ever worked together before, and what is your favorite thing about each other?
Oh God, that's that question.
Okay, we'll start with how'd you meet. We have been together since basically April of '99. We actually met in April and then moved in together in June of '99. It's quite quick.
Yeah.
Shortly after we met, he was a truck driver at the time.
No, I was
Well,
in between. I was actually retrieving trucks because I had been
Yes.
driving, and then I was in the office dispatching, and then I got ended up going into truck retrieval. I worked for a company that was big enough that we actually would have guys abandon trucks all over the country, and I would fly me out to pick them up and bring them back. So I was doing that at the time. There was about 3 of us that did that at the time.
yeah. I was managing a tanning salon
Yes, in the Twin Cities.
in the Twin Cities.
Because we don't live there right now. We're about 50 miles west of there, 60 miles
Yeah.
west of there.
And he had just gotten a divorce.
Yay.
And
Previous life.
yeah, and he was getting buff and fit and everything. He was going to the gym, and he wanted to come to the tanning salon to get a tan on so he could,
Impress the ladies.
impress the ladies.
Because I've never been big on wearing shorts and just hanging out outside.
Yeah.
Still am not that way.
And I, of course, was the tanning salon girl, and he walks in, and he was not really impressed with me at all. He actually had a thing for my coworker.
Oh yeah, it was after the coworker. not
Yep.
her, so.
And I was not impressed with him either. I was extremely annoyed with him. I thought he was very annoying.
I don't get it, but yeah.
But I did see that he was a very nice guy. We got to be friends quite quick. And what do you
Yeah.
know, 2 months later we moved in together.
Don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
I hit my head at the gym on something, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
A dumbbell fell on my head, I think is what it is.
Something.
And I became a dumbbell, something like that.
A dumbbell.
Yeah. So yeah, that was how it started.
That's how it started. And then as far as like work we've done together, that first thing we did together was shortly thereafter. At the time I actually quit that job, and I was I was an assistant manager at a store in the Mall of America. And I had this brainiac idea that since he had history with truck driving, that I could do the same thing. And I decided to get my license, and
We drove truck together.
truck together for about a year. I drove a semi.
Yeah, she had a CDL.
And I was good. I was actually pretty decent.
She wasn't bad, but yeah, she did have a meltdown in the middle of traffic once.
Yeah, it was Dallas rush hour.
It
No,
was San Antonio.
it was Dallas rush hour.
I'm pretty sure it was San Antonio.
I think it was Dallas. Regardless,
Anyway, it was Texas. Yeah.
Super, super heavy traffic, and here I am in a semi, and I need to get over into the right lane, and I'm in the left lane, and
She's crying, by
Yeah.
the way. She's not just stressing, she's like in tears. I'm
Yeah.
like, it's just do it, you'll be fine.
I got much better at
She
it.
got,
Way better.
A little better.
It was tough for him though, because obviously, you know, as a team situation, one person has to be sleeping while the other person is driving, and he had a very difficult time sleeping,
There's
which
no
I
sleeping,
understand.
yeah. You got to put a lot of trust in that person that's driving. So
You're making me sound like I was a horrible driver. I
you
was
weren't
a
a
good
horrible
driver.
driver, but it's just my personality. You like,
Yes, I was a good driver.
she's not a bad driver.
Okay, so, and then what was the other question? It says, have you worked together? Oh,
Yeah.
what is your favorite thing about each other?
Oh. You start.
Me?
Yeah, you asked. Well, you're in.
Well, I mean, there's obviously lots of things that I love, and there's lots of things that I
Don't like.
don't care for so much.
I have quirks, believe it or not.
He's very quirky.
Very.
Yeah.
Kind of OCD.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, he's OCD, and he likes things a very, very, very specific certain way, which is totally not my personality.
No. You know those OCD things you see on Facebook where they say if you can read this, you're OCD? I read them just fine. Where it's like a mixture of numbers and letters.
When I
People
met
who have-
him, his closet was like color coordinated, and every
Two
like
finger
hanger,
space.
yeah, every
Yeah.
hanger 2 finger width apart, and it's just.
Well,
but-
I was in the military, and that was how we had to do it.
Yes.
And that, yeah, it sounds kind of stupid, but I kind of thought it looked nice. I like, hey, it's very organized. You got whites, you got blues, red, whatever. You just like a nice
But
flow.
everybody keep in mind that personality part of him comes into his products, which is a really, really good thing.
Yeah, I guess.
But I think honestly my favorite thing about Tony is that regardless of your quirks, regardless of whatever, deep down I will always know you're just a really, like, truly good man. You're
Oh,
just,
thank you.
like, no matter what
Well,
would
I try to
ever
be.
happen, you're just a
Yes, I can be difficult, no doubt.
yes, he can be
She
difficult.
can testify to that.
But he is a truly good
Yeah,
man.
I do enjoy people. I do enjoy talking to people. If you've talked to me on the phone, you've probably understood that.
Yeah.
Because I can talk and talk and talk. But, so now you, I guess, I got to tell you them about, well, obviously she's kind of a looker, so that was my first thing. Yeah.
Which you didn't really think so when
No,
I
at
first
first
met
I
me.
didn't. I didn't really wasn't that attracted to her at first because she had her hair pulled back and she always had this kind of look.
He didn't think I looked very nice.
Yeah, he just didn't. Almost unkept at times. Because she'd show up like late for work and hair just pulled back and just kind of barely. And it's like, well, how good do you need to look there? So, but then I seen her once when she got herself all done up to do something, go to some event, and I was just like, oh wow, this girl cleans up pretty good. So
Look, there's got to be something more though.
no, well,
Otherwise, we wouldn't be together for
no,
20 years.
But she is genuinely, I have to say this, she tolerates a lot from me, so she's very patient overall.
Mhm.
But she is a true sweetheart. She is absolutely a sweet girl. You would never, a lot of people look at her and think, oh, what a biatch, but not the case. She's the exact opposite of that, but yeah, she's just she's very thoughtful, like almost too thoughtful. I'm not that way. I'm a little more selfish, if you want to call it that. And she's definitely the one that always thinking of somebody other than herself, not me. I'm not quite that way, I admit it. But she's an amazing mother. Amazing mother. Which I'll never get over that. So she's an amazing mother. And she loves her kids more than anything. Way more than me. Yes.
Okay, next one. Well, BotaProducts says, I don't have any questions at the moment, but the parts I have from you are top quality and they're holding up well. You also have a beautiful family. God bless. Thank you, BotaProducts.
That's Mike Poletti, by the way.
Yes.
BotaProducts. Mike's a great guy. We are actually now starting to handle his products. So if you go on our website, that's a good way to get into that. We've kind of updated the website now, and you can kind of see there's categories. There's a toolbar on the side
Yes.
of some sort. And you'll see under aftermarket accessories, BotaProducts, and then also Big Tool Rack is the other one where we just started taking on the Big Tool Rack line, so we're going to start selling those. I'd looked at kind of making something like that myself, by
Yep.
the way, same with Mike's stuff, or And it's like, why should I make this stuff? These guys already make a really nice product. I get asked about these types of things a lot, so it's like, so now I am a dealer for Mike's stuff and also a dealer for Big Tool Rack as well. So check that out on the website.
I'm just double checking to make sure that we
Oh,
still
yeah.
have a sound thing going. We have especially the last couple of years, the last year especially, we've had a couple people ask about Tony, and people who have seen him from kind of day one. We started first making videos back 10, 12 years ago.
Yeah. About
And
that.
anybody who's seen his original videos, he looked quite a bit different. And we've had people ask about how your look has changed. And I remember somebody saying something about, dude, you look so different, what are you doing?
Oh.
So, why do you look so different?
Because I just got good genetics. No, I suppose next month it'll be 2 years ago I started working out again. Because when I met her, I had worked out. And believe it or not, right before, I was in a bad wreck before, car wreck before I met her. And I was driving truck at that time. And I was about 250 pounds. I was quite the chunky monkey at that time.
Mm-hmm.
And then after I recovered from that, I was laid up for probably 6 months. And then got into the gym, started working out, got pretty good shape. And that's when I met you.
Mm-hmm.
And I probably went from around 250 to 175, 180 when I met you.
Mm-hmm.
So I was and I was 28 at the time. So it was a lot easier to do back then. But,
Yeah, so for those of you who don't know, he's
I'm-
pushing 50.
yeah, I'm 48 now, so, yeah, it's a hell of a lot more work now at 48 versus 28, I can tell you that. It's twice the work and half the results is kind of how it comes now. Back then it was twice the results with half the work.
Mm.
But your body is completely different in your 20s than it is in your late 40s.
Well, but you've
So
done
now-
more than just started working out.
What else?
There's been a lot of health changes, diet changes
Oh
for
yeah,
both of
diet.
us.
Because back then I didn't do the diet stuff so much, and we weren't as informed because the internet wasn't really. It was just
Right.
kind of coming into, it was around, but it was really getting mainstream in the late '90s. So,
Mm-hmm.
so we just didn't have access to the information we have now. But yeah, so I've changed my diet dramatically. Yeah, I work out 3 days a week. And I'm like hardcore with that. I don't screw around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually took classes and I graduated with this thing, and to be honest, he's taken more of that information and he's went farther with it than even me.
Yeah.
And I'm the one that
Yeah.
graduated as a health coach, but
So yeah, I've slimmed down because it's been 2 years now, and I was actually 180 pounds when I started this, because I've gone from fit to fat to fit to fat to fit.
yeah.
So I've been in this whole deal, but I've been pretty slim now for quite a while.
Yeah.
Well, I was pretty chunky when our son was born too, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's
You were
10
about
years.
225, 230 when he was born.
Good Lord, yeah.
Mhm.
Back up in the shitter again, but
And this, I just want to bring this up. Put comments below. This is a thought that I had in my head. I brought it up to him. I don't know whether he's really into it or not. It's just a thought. Because he really does enjoy the health part of it, and I do too. And the phone's ringing.
that's all right. It'll ring.
Whoever's calling, we'll get back to you. But because we do enjoy that, and I have had the occasional question about it, I've thought about kind of like a spin-off if anybody would ever have any interest, totally not BX related,
No, it wouldn't be.
in a separate type of a channel, totally separate from this, kind of like when you are older, things that you have to do differently or how you can get
It's-
in the best shape of your life
Right.
at an older age. I just thought it'd be fun to actually make some videos like that or product reviews or
fun.
something.
Yeah, it's not obviously tractor related at all. I'm assuming most people in the tractor world probably, I'm sure some are, it's probably a mixture, so I don't know. But it's a whole different ball game at this age than in your 20s. 20s, I don't have a very big 20-something following, that's for sure, because
Mhm.
kids aren't into tractors that much anymore, but yeah, it's way easier then. than it is now.
But if you think you'd have any interested in seeing anything like that, put some comments below, let them know, and you never know. Maybe on somewhere on down the line, we might do something like that.
We'll
But
be for our own benefit more than anything.
yeah. He's had a lot of people ask about, like questions about the generations of tractors, how we, on the
what
website.
generation? Yeah, I'll get an email and they're like, what generation is my tractor? I don't know, I don't understand it. And it's like we did a video on the 3 different generations of the tractor, of the BX. You have your generation 1, 2, and 3. Well, and in that video I kind of say that is purely an Ai2 thing, or a BX attachments thing. They say if you went to your Kubota dealer and said, I've got a Gen 2 tractor, they just kind of stare at you like, huh? What does that mean? Because when you look at the lineage of the BX tractor, you've got kind of 3 distinct iterations of it. You've got the original, which I call your generation 1, that's your 2200, 2230s, so I'm not going to go through all of them. That's a fairly small group, and then the largest group is your generation 2. Starts with your 2350 and goes through your 2370-1. Well, there's a lot of models in between there. And now your current model is your 80 series tractor, which there's only 5 of those. You got your 1880, your 2380, 2680, and 23S. So those are your 80 series. Well, each one of them had some kind of distinctive changes. Now, from a Gen 1 to a Gen 2, vast differences. I mean, you could just visibly see them. I mean, even the color's a little different on the Generation 1 to Gen 2. But there's quite a few differences, and if you want to go out on our YouTube channel and you can look at those videos of the 1, 2, and 3 series, that'll go into all the details of what's different and how and all that stuff. So, but
I'll post in the comments below this video, I'll post the links to each one of those generation videos that he's mentioning.
But when you go on the website, you'll see the little boxes for Gen 1, 2, and 3. When you put your cursor over that box, it'll pop up all the model numbers that pertain to that generation. So you'll know, just so if you've got a 2660, you go over the Gen 2, if you go in Gen 1, you're not going to see 2660. You go into Gen 2, you'll see a 2660. So now okay, I got a Generation 2 tractor. So that's kind of how it was designed. So when you put your cursor over that, you got to be on the home page to find that. But then you'll see that when you're in that actual generational thing on the home page, it'll pop up all your model numbers. Mm-hmm. So that's the best way to describe it, because certain things from Gen 1 to Gen 2, things changed. So stuff that works on a Gen 1 won't work on a Gen 2 and vice versa. So that's why I had to make some differences. And when they came out with the 80 series, we kind of just bundled it all together. Well, once they came out with the 80 series, it's like, all right, now there's just too much going on. You can't just say BX in general because there's so many variables going on here. So now we had to split it all up, kind of revamp the whole website to allow for that. So now when we post things, there's all kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think so, but there is a lot of stuff with the BX. There's probably, in the whole 20 years they've been building that, there's probably 30 model numbers.
Mm-hmm. It's just a nice, simple way to be able to kind of quickly get in the right category.
It just focuses you in where you want. So you're not looking at a product that won't even fit your tractor, so it's kind of pointless.
Mm-hmm. We've also had a lot of people asking about shipping outside the U.S.
Yeah, right now if you go on the accessory side, you'll notice on the accessory part of the website, you can actually order right there. And I'll get the order, I put it in a box. I get to do that too, by the way. And UPS that or mail at USPS, I use USPS as much as possible. But that free shipping only pertains to the 48 states. Not Hawaii, not Alaska. It's a whole nother ball game when you go into those areas. Not so much with Postal Service to Alaska, but UPS definitely. But so that's why we got it set up. And if you try to enter in like a Canadian address, it won't let you. Because I get a lot of people from Canada saying, "Will you ship to us?" I'm like, "Sure, but you got to talk to me and give me your address, and then I'll give you a cost of what it'll take to get it to Canada or wherever it's going." Or I ship stuff to Australia sometimes in a box. You know, I just shipped some stuff to France here, and I got another stuff thing going to France here next week. So
That's
it does,
really cool.
It does go all over the place. So you just have to get a hold of me if you want to do that, and I can give you a cost. But then when it comes to the attachments, now you're going on a pallet and it has to go on a truck.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it says call for more details or more information, because there's just so many variables that go into shipping something, and I'm not a big enough shipper that I just get some flat rate on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you get to a certain size where you're huge, you can go with like an Arnell or a YRC or somebody like that, and they'll just come in and say, here, we'll give you this price, you know, kind of across the board on all your stuff, residential or non-residential, you know, commercial deliveries. So residential deliveries do become, in some cases, depending on where it goes, it can double the price, if not triple the price. That's why we try to, you don't have to go commercial address, but terminal pickups work the best where we ship it to that carrier. Say it's Arnell carriers, they use them a lot, especially out east. They're a great carrier for out east. In most of the country. But, you know, we'll ship it just to their terminal in that area. Hopefully it's within 20, 30 miles. Sometimes it's further. You know, I do have other carrier options, so I can check and see which carrier that I use has a terminal closest to you. If you have a buddy that has a shop, you can ship it to them. Can't be I mean, we can do a farm place, but that's considered remote access. You know, we can do, we can ship it anywhere you want. It's just a matter of what do you want to pay. And I don't have a flat rate for shipping. It typically runs in that $175 range to ship something.
So again, that addresses the other question that we get as far as why do people have to call to order those attachments. He just explained that.
Yeah, because there's, I don't ship enough and do enough volume for them to give me like this kind of flat rate across the board.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe someday, but and it isn't like it's not really a bad number. I mean, it's not a lot of people are calling thinking it's going to be $300-400, and it's not. It's not that bad, but and so we can do residential. It's kind of what you're willing to pay. Some cases it's not a big deal. Some cases it's a really big deal. So.
We have had a couple people bring up that they're seeing a couple changes on the website, and they're now starting to see
Merchandise, yes. That's Angie's department, though.
Yeah. I mean, when you're so loyal to something, and you we've got our BXer group and the fellow BXers and people who really love the tractors and just these types of things, we were noticing that there's not really a whole lot of stuff out there for people to wear and have and show how much they enjoy those products and stuff.
Yeah, your brand loyalty type things.
Yeah.
Kubota doesn't really offer a heck of a lot even.
Yeah. So that's just kind of our way of going, you know what? We're going to start making some stuff so you guys can show off the things that you enjoy. BX tractors, AI2, you know, you can wear it.
Look as cool as me and wear a shirt like this, you know.
Exactly. And I've got a few things up there now. Please feel free to check it out. If you have any ideas for what you would like to see on a shirt or a hat or you know, a mug or something like that, let me know. I love to hear the feedback to give me some ideas, and we want to be able to make the things that you guys will enjoy. So we want to have fun with it. So
that one is all Angie. That's not me at all, because
yeah.
I don't design clothing very well.
That's all me.
That's her. Yeah.
And then, finally, we have had some questions. Do we have kids? How many and how old?
We do, yes.
Yes, we have two. I think there's been a couple videos that I think Jillian's
been in a couple where she was here, wasn't intentional. She kind of just entered the scene.
Yeah. We have two. We have a boy, he's 10, and a girl who's 5, Camden and Jillian.
Yes.
And
adorable as hell.
Oh, they're cute.
I don't know how I produce such pretty kids, but it's because of her.
It's a good combination.
Must be.
I'll even put a couple pictures. Maybe I'll dub a couple pictures in here so you guys can see the kiddos. But they're good kids. I think all parents are just goo-goo gaga over their kids, and we are very goo-goo gaga over our kids.
They have their quirks too, though.
Very quirky at times.
They can be very difficult. There could be,
normal kids.
they're a lot like their mom a lot of times, so I do have some difficulties.
That would be a lot like your dad. I'm easy. I'm super, that sounded bad.
It did. I just left it alone too. I'm like, I'm not even going there.
Anyway, is there anything else you wanted to mention?
No. I mean, we hope to do a lot more videos, which kind of keep saying that, but
Should
it's
let us
just
know
hard
if-
to, yeah, I mean, tell us what kind of videos you'd like to see.
Mhm.
You know, I'm not going to be able to do like every Tuesday or every Wednesday like some of the other guys out there that are big into YouTube. I'd love to, but I
There's
just
no
don't
time.
have enough time to do that. You know, or when there is time, sometimes I just don't want to do it.
Mhm.
You know, like I've had enough of this crap. I want to not even think about tractors for a couple days.
Just be able to like relax and just
Yeah.
mind blank and
Because I got a lot of other things I'm interested in. You know, so it's not like I do love tractors and but I love trucking yet. I still love trucks. So,
Mhm.
you know, I'd like to start a whole channel just on that whole deal, but that's another story. But
Mhm.
because I just have a lot of interest, so there's not one thing I'd want to do for the rest of my life. There's too many things to do out there. So
both of us are a lot like that. We just have a lot of things that we really enjoy, and
yeah,
we want to be able to have time to explore those different things.
yeah,
but
someday that's the kind of the key. You know, that's why I got to take care of myself so I can be physically fit enough to do something else down the road.
yeah,
Plus, having two young kids, you try to although they have trouble keeping up with me usually. So
he's definitely the fit one. That's for sure.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, put comments down below. Did you enjoy this video? What other videos do you want to
Yes.
see from us? Hopefully you
Tractor
got some-
related, obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Him, I'm usually behind the camera, so it's not very often
You'll hear
you're
a
going to
voice
see me
more
here.
than anything, yeah.
Yeah, but hopefully everybody liked it, and I'll let you sign off. Do your
Yeah,
normal
well,
sign
I'll
off.
say thanks for watching. If you have any more questions or comments on product, you know, shoot me an email, tony@bxattachments.com. Obviously, check out our website at bxattachments.com. Check us out on Facebook, Ai2 Products, Asheville Industries, because there is a whole other side to that. We did address that. That was a question, I think, that
Oh,
what else do we do? But
what else do we do?
yeah, we do also initially started as a water jet cutting shop,
Yes.
but we'll kind of just leave it at that. I still do that, and you might even hear that kind of drone in the background. There's a water jet's running right now, making a bunch of noise. So
Mhm.
hopefully it doesn't come into the video or the sound audio too much. But no, back to where I was. Yeah, I said the Facebook. You know, we got our BXer Network page. Check us out there, our group page. And then YouTube, also look on there.
Mhm.
And then to get a hold of us, 320-331-1055. But
And you can email Tony.
that is really the best way to get a hold of me. Because right now, I'm going to admit 100% to you guys that I am behind on returning phone calls.
Mhm.
It's just a one-man show thing, and it's just some days, in order for me to get things done in the shop, I just have to ignore the phone, which I've been doing kind of a lot lately. So be patient and persistent. Don't be afraid to leave a couple messages. It's not that I'm ignoring you. I just get distracted, and I just got a lot going on. So
Mhm.
don't feel bad. Don't think you're being shit
He
on.
will get back to you. Yes.
Yeah. So no, I think that's it. Thanks for watching.
Bye.
So ready?
Yeah.
What?
I feel awkward.
You feel awkward.
Okay.
Feel good? We're ready to go now.
Good.
Okay. Forrest Gump.
Go for it.
If you, but I make it all in a list, and then sometimes I get a new page, and I try to cross everybody out that I've talked to. But sometimes you get to the next page, and you go back and look at the next. You know, I do that with some emails sometimes too. I'll see it while I'm coming in to do something, like, oh, I gotta get back to this guy a little later, and then now it's no longer highlighted as a new message, and I overlook it. Then I find it a week later when I'm looking for another message. So I'm just kind of a slacker that way. But if you expect that, or you know that,
I'm cutting this part out.
no, you're not. Leave it in there. I want people to know that.
Okay.
That way they're not calling thinking I'm being a dick to them or something, and not just calling them back. So
Okay.
we're arguing right now, so just ignore this part.
Is this going to be in the bloopers?
Sure. It's like, damn it, don't backtalk me, woman.
Oh, he'll get it after this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.